All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a hidden enemy that could be lurking inside your body right now, even if you look and feel perfectly healthy. We're going to break down what it is, what really causes it, and most importantly, the simple, science-backed steps you can take to fight back.
So, have you ever heard that term skinny fat? It sounds kind of strange, right? Well, it's a real thing. The clinical term is TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. And it points to a really dangerous type of internal fat that has almost nothing to do with what you see on the scale.
And that is visceral fat. See, this isn't the soft fat you can pinch. This stuff is deep inside you. It's an angry, inflammatory fat that wraps itself around your most vital organs, your liver, your heart, your pancreas, literally suffocating them, messing with your hormones, and driving awful diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease.
Okay, so how does this nasty stuff even build up in the first place? For decades, we've been fed the same old story. You're just eating too much and not moving enough. But it turns out the real cause is something else entirely.
You know, we've all been sold this story that it's just about willpower, right? That it's a moral failing. But the reality? Oh, it's so much deeper than that. Visceral fat is a symptom. It's driven by hormones that are all out of whack, and by chronic inflammation that's constantly screaming at your body to store more fat.
So let's get specific. Here are 4 of the biggest triggers. First, chronic stress. And get this, even from healthy things like running marathons. Then you've got alcohol, which your body basically treats like a poison. And of course, the big ones, sugar, processed carbs, and industrial seed oils. They all do the same thing. They crank up inflammation and spike your fat storage hormones.
Okay, that's the bad news. The good news? We can absolutely do something about it. So, let's talk solutions. Starting with your food. And look, the goal here isn't to starve yourself. Not at all. It's to eat in a way that actively fights inflammation and helps heal your hormones.
The game plan is simple. Swap out the inflammatory processed junk for real, nutrient-dense food. We're talking about high-quality protein and healthy, natural fats from things like meat, eggs, avocados, and olive oil. The key here, and this is crucial, is that these foods keep that fat-storing hormone insulin way down. That's what flips the switch in your body from fat storage mode to fat burning mode.
Now take a close look at this list of oils. You see these oils everywhere, right? Usually labeled vegetable oil. But here's the part that's going to blow your mind. When you eat these, the inflammatory gunk from them has a half-life in your body fat of nearly 2 years. Let me say that again. 680 days after you eat that meal fried in seed oils, half of those damaging fats are still inside your cells.
Now, fixing your food, that's a massive piece of the puzzle. But what you do outside of the kitchen is just as important. And the great news is, you don't have to become a gym rat. This is all about working smarter, not harder.
So check this out. 3 super simple habits. First up, a quick 10-minute walk right after your meals. It helps your body use that food for energy instead of storing it as fat. Second, think about swapping those long, boring jogs for a few short sprints. These intense bursts are incredible for your hormones. And finally, you have to prioritize quality sleep. Getting enough deep and REM sleep is non-negotiable for lowering stress and letting your body burn fat while you rest.
All right, we've talked food, we've talked lifestyle. But what if I told you the single most powerful weapon against visceral fat isn't something you eat or an exercise you do? What if it's totally free and you have access to it every single day?
Yep, I'm talking about sunlight. And look, this goes way, way beyond just vitamin D. The real magic of sunlight happens on a much, much deeper level inside your body.
The real secret here is buried deep inside your trillions of cells, in these things called mitochondria. Just think of them as these tiny little power plants or engines. They produce all the energy your body needs to function. And when they get gummed up and stop working right, you get sick. That is the real root cause of visceral fat.
So how do we fix these little engines when they're running hot? This is where it gets absolutely incredible. That infrared light from the sun acts like a jump start. It actually tells your mitochondria to produce their own built-in cooling system, a super powerful antioxidant called melatonin. This is what puts out that inflammatory fire inside your cells, letting them run clean again. But here's the kicker. On average, we spend 93% of our lives indoors. We are literally starving our cells of this essential light energy. Some experts are even calling it the scurvy of the 21st century, a deficiency not of a vitamin but of light itself.
And if you think that sounds a little over the top, you gotta hear this. A huge 20-year study in Sweden found something just unbelievable. They found that non-smokers who stayed out of the sun had the exact same risk of dying as smokers who got regular sun. Let that sink in. Avoiding the sun can literally be as bad for you as smoking.
So what's the fix? Well, it's actually beautifully simple. Just aim for about 15 minutes of direct sun every day. And as you can see, the best times are actually in the morning and evening. That's because you get more of that healing infrared light and less of the harsh UV rays you get at midday.
So there it is, a clear, science-backed plan to fight back against that hidden enemy by fixing your food, your movement, and your light. Now, this isn't about doing everything perfectly overnight. It's about taking that first small step today. So my question to you is, what's your first step going to be?